Hi friends, this is Preston again, and in this video we're going to talk about configuring PKI on an existing Active Directory domain-joined Windows virtual machine in Microsoft Azure. By configuring Active Directory certificate services as an enterprise certificate authority in your test and development environment, you can conveniently reproduce scenarios that require secure web server certificates, certificates for document encryption or code signing, among others, as you develop and test your solutions before staging and deploying them to production. You can even consider using this solution to integrate certificate services in your lab environment for training in topics like PowerShell desired state configuration or any other certificate-dependent technologies that you plan to learn. The requirements for building this lab are an Azure subscription, an existing environment with an available Windows Server 2019 virtual machine, an internet connection, Windows PowerShell version 5.1. In this demo, I'll run the script from my Windows 10 laptop using the Windows terminal. Membership in the local administrators group on the machine on which you execute the PowerShell script, and during execution you will be asked to upgrade the Azure RM modules in case you haven't already done so and replace them with the newer AZ modules. The password required must be at least 12 characters and meet complexity requirements, i.e. 3 out of 4 of uppercase, lowercase, numeric, and special characters. So now we're ready to start the demo. This is going to simulate what Jessica has already done. And the first thing we need to do is open PowerShell as an administrator. So I will open the Windows Terminal version of PowerShell as administrator. The first thing we do at this point is to create a new project folder where the script will be downloaded to. So we'll do new item path, and we'll call this folder project 0067. Specify that the item type is a directory, and we'll get some verbose output. So now that we have created that new directory, we can navigate to the GitHub location. We can accomplish that with start process, specify the file path as the URL of https github.com AutoCloudArc 0067 configure PKI. And this will open that project up for us, at which point we can clone the project or download the zip file. I'm going to select the code button and then download zip. And I'm going to place it right inside of the project 006 folder that I've just created. So I'll click on save. And then I'm going to immediately open the zipped archive so that I can navigate to the PowerShell script that I'd like to execute. Inside of this folder. And that script is right here. It's called configure-pki on VM in Azure.ps1. So I'll copy this and I'll place it at the root of our project 0067 folder. Because we've obtained these files from an online source and my PowerShell execution policy is remote sign, I need to unblock this file. So I'll right click and go to properties and select the unblock checkbox. Now I can close my file system and the browser and go back to my PowerShell session. I'm going to navigate to the project 0067 folder. I'll just set the location, specify the path as C project 0067 and confirm. And now I can use dot sourcing to run the script, which is configure PKI on VM in Azure.ps1. I need to specify a couple of parameters as well. One is going to be the automation account name, and to get the automation account name, I need to look at I need to find my Azure subscription where the environment is already created, has already been created, and I'm going to copy this automation account name. And as you can see, my resource group name is RG10 right here. So that's going to be my resource group, which is the other parameter I will require. So for the automation account name, that's my automation account name. My other parameter I need to specify is my resource group. So my resource group name is, as we just saw, RG10. I'll add the verbose switch to get some extra output. And when I hit return, it's going to import commandlets from the package provider from NuGet. And the next thing we should expect it to do is to prompt us to upgrade the Azure RM modules and replace them with the newer AZ modules. Now, if you have the legacy Azure RM modules and you select Y or yes, then those modules will be upgraded. But if you already have the AZ modules, it will just check to see if you have the latest versions, and if you do, then nothing happens. Otherwise, it will update the latest versions of your currently installed AZ modules. So once we get prompted here, I will specify Y to accept that we will update the AZ modules or upgrade to the AZ modules if necessary. And here's the prompt. So I'll say yes. Next, the NuGet package provider will be used to remove the legacy Azure RM module if necessary. In my case, that won't be necessary. And it may just update modules. The next prompt will be a notification that we should enter our credentials for our Azure subscription. Now, this may open in a separate browser-based authentication window, so remember to switch to that window in order to log in. And here is the prompt. And I'll specify my account that I use to log into my subscriptions. So one account may be associated with multiple subscriptions. I'm going to select the second subscription on the list because that's where my environment currently is with the PKI server that we want to configure. At this point, we're going to shortly be presented with the list of virtual machines in the target resource group, which is RG10, and we'll be prompted to specify one of these virtual machines, the one that we want to configure as a PKI server. So if you notice the last item in the list, AZR PKI 1001, that will be the name, or that is the name of our PKI server. We just haven't configured it yet. So I'm going to specify that server. I'm going to select that server from the list here, AZR PKI 1001. And now it's asking me to enter a username for the PKI server configuration. This must actually be an enterprise administrator account in the domain, as well as the domain administrator for the root domain. In our case, it's only one domain, and the name of this account is adm.infra.user@dev.adatum.com. And it will also ask me for a password. So I need to supply the password here as well. So at this point, we know that the automation account contains the configuration data, and the necessary desired state configuration resource modules, the last of which is the Xstorage resource module being imported now, and it should be completing here in just a moment. maybe a couple minutes. It has to be sent to a queue and then picked up by the worker on the desired state configuration pull server to perform the compilation. So we'll pause again for just a minute and resume shortly. Okay, so the compilation is finished, and now it's checking for the node registration of the target VM, which is Azure PKI 1001, so that the configuration can be applied to it, and that machine will become configured to a PKI server. When it's finished, this in progress status will change to compliant. So I'll continue to pause and I'll resume when the status changes to compliant. All right, so we see now that the status has changed to compliant, and even the color coding is green. Before it was blue when it was in progress. So what we can do as a final verification is to log into that machine. So I'm going to go back to my resource group list and sort all of my resources. I want to find my PKI server, which is Azure PKI 1001. And this environment uses Azure Bastion, so it's a secure way of doing RDP to log into that virtual machine. And I'm going to specify my credentials to log in here: adm.info.user@dev.adatum.com. And log in. And if I just type srv or cert srv.msc, should be the Certificate Services Manager or the Certificate Authority MMC console. And if I expand this, you'll see it says Certificate Authority Local. I know it's small, but there we go. We have PKI 01, which is the name of the certificate authority. So here's what we've done so far. We've downloaded and executed a script to retrieve and import artifacts and modules to configure a target domain joined virtual machine in Azure as a certificate server, as a certificate authority server. All this faster than you can say verisimilitude. Well, okay, maybe not quite that fast, but still more automated, simplified, and repeatable. So you get a simplified experience, and it's more infrastructure as code friendly than manually using the Windows or the Add Windows feature in Server Manager. So thanks for watching this video. If you really enjoyed it and want to see more of these tutorials, make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel. Doing so helps us grow the channel to continue producing great content for even more IT professionals. I'd love to hear from you too, so together we can all improve the content. Send any feedback on what you liked or what I can do to make these productions even better for everyone. Thanks again for watching, and happy automating.